So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye. It was nice to know you, Dino. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. Hey! See, I could have done that, or I could have done my imitation of Julie Andrews. But of course I can't hit those soprano notes. But hell, the hills are alive with the firing of Dino Babers. Yes, it's official. You're gone, buddy. You know what? I mean, heck, you gave us a good teaser there in the third year of your tenure. I thought, hey, we finally got a guy that can right the ship. Boy, were we wrong. And boy, I mean, hell, it just shows at times how gullible you can make Syracuse fans, especially with the way that you couldn't recruit for the offensive line. Hell, Tommy DeVito and the other quarterbacks were running for their life half the time. And even when we had COVID, we gave you a mulligan on that 1-10 season. But I digress. I mean, in November, you couldn't win worth a shit. And I mean, pardon my language, but hey, it's one of the main reasons why you're gone. You couldn't win right down the stretch, right when it mattered. And especially Saturday's game against Georgia Tech. Yeah, we followed a similar game plan against Pitt, and it worked, almost. We fell behind 24-3, and we came back. And if we could have stopped Georgia Tech on that final drive, maybe we could have had a chance to go down, kick a winning field goal, and be bowl eligible. But you know what? The whole things that just have been a mark of Dino Babers' tenure became apparent. The ugly way in which we get some very unnecessary penalties, the undisciplined play. And I mean, it just seemed as though it just is a snowball effect every year. You know what, Dino? Good riddance to you. I mean, maybe Wildhat could have waited till the end of the season, but who knows? But I mean, heck, let's start and see what we can do to find a coach that can get the ship righted. And right now, it's Nunzio Campanelli, who is right now the interim coach. Yeah, he's a guy that comes from the neighborhood. And once you get in this team, there's no getting out. Right, Nunzio? Of course, maybe I'm going a little far with my way there, but I mean, heck, what a name, Nunzio Campanelli. You kind of wonder if his family is going to be serving spaghetti there down on the sideline. But I digress, and I don't want to sound racist. You are the leader for this game against Wake Forest, when we could become bowl eligible. Of course, some of the projections I've seen, heck, we might be going to the Gasparilla Bowl, or we might be going to the Birmingham Bowl against somebody from the Sun Belt. Could be either Marshall, could be either Troy. But of course, we'll see. I mean, if it's the Gasparilla Bowl, maybe it's a good thing, because you know what? You get gas watching the orange, you know? Oh, shouldn't have eaten that pineapple upside down cake. Give me a Rolaids. But you know what? We'll see what happens with Mr. Campanelli. And I mean, heck, we'll see what happens here going forward. There also is a rumor that maybe Holy Cross's coach is interested in the Syracuse job, but he's also linked to the Boston College job. But I digress. If the Holy Cross coach comes, maybe he brings a Lance Leopold way, because Lance turned around UB, and now he's turned around Kansas. Maybe we could look at Lance Leopold to come up here to Syracuse and change things. And I mean, we're going to wipe the slate clean. And let's see what this new coach, whomever it is, can do. But you know what? Goodbye, Dino Babers. And as I did with my Sound of Music, don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. Goodbye. Well, I'm going to go from talking about the thankful end of one era to hopefully the start of another era. Buffalo started with a new offensive coordinator after letting Ken Dorsey go, because Dorsey was so inconsistent. You know, it was almost like a bad milkshake, if you know what I mean. Yeah, Joe Brady, who was one of the guys behind LSU's run to the national title 4 years ago, helping Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase back when they played for the Tigers win the national title, is now the offensive coordinator. And I should say he did a pretty decent job, even if a few times they kind of ground to a halt right near the red zone and had to depend on Bass a little too much. But 4 field goals, that's pretty good. But you know what? We got the offense out of the doldrums, and we also caused Zach Wilson to be benched. Heck, he was drafted in the first round, and now he's QB3 for the New York Jets. And also, we gave Robert Saleh a dose of what it's like to be hit on the sidelines. And yeah, you know we're rivals when there's chippiness on the field, and even when the game is over, when Gardner, who didn't have the sauce, causes a little ruckus going down the tunnel end there of Highmark Stadium. But you know what? It was good to finally see Buffalo play up to their ability. A pretty good 32-6 win over the Jets, with the meat of the schedule coming up. And I mean meat on this Thanksgiving week. Heck, when we're still kind of reeling from all the turkey, mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce, pumpkin pie, or in Charlie Brown's case, all the toast, pretzel sticks, jelly beans, and popcorn. You know what? It's time for more football, especially on Saturday and on Sunday. But I mean, I'm talking about the Bills, so it'll be against the Philadelphia Eagles. And you don't want Mr. Merrill there to do one of those, I don't believe it, when Buffalo comes in and beats Philadelphia. Well, of course, that could be a tall order, because Philadelphia right now is playing lights out. Heck, they just beat Kansas City, and in my mind, they are the team to beat for the Super Bowl. And I mean, we'll see what Buffalo can do against the Eagles on Sunday, because they got a well-deserved bye week coming up, and then it's the rest of the schedule. Then they got Kansas City, Dallas, and the Los Angeles Chargers. I mean, it's hard with teams moving. You got to get things going. So my bad. The Los Angeles Chargers. And to close the season, against New England and against Miami. Pretty good gauntlet coming up for the Bills. And with this change in offensive coordinators, we'll see what happens. Can Allen continue his pace? Can Cook continue to fry, bake, broil, saute his way through defenses? Can Stephon Diggs shake off this whole thing where, I mean, his brother is making cryptic tweets? Get out of there, Stephon. Get out of there. Ooh. And can Gabriel Davis maybe make a thing for himself? Because the thing is, he's playing his way out of Buffalo. And Khalil Shakur using the salt shakur and the pepper shakur to season defenses, and for him to run to the end zone. But I digress. An interesting gauntlet's coming up here for the Bills. We'll see what happens. I'll go from talking about the Bills. How about Syracuse basketball? Yeah, I mean, it's a tough thing right there, the Maui Invitational, not being held in Maui because of all the wildfires that caused all of that sadness and destruction months ago. They moved it to Honolulu. But you know what? It's pretty good they're over there in Hawaii. But I mean, it's some of the shortcomings again is coming to the fore. Hell, they stayed with Tennessee for quite a bit of that game. But then those weaknesses started to show. The free throws, which has always been a bad thing for the Orange. You know what? They're building a house with all of those bricks. And I mean, over in Hawaii, real estate, gasoline, and everything is very expensive. I don't want to have a house over there. Yeah, the climate is terrific, but I mean, I don't want to live over there. Costs too much. Yeah, we gave Tennessee a good run, but we eventually fell to the Volunteers. Today, we play Bing Crosby's alma mater, Gonzaga, who is with Mr. Few coaching, has done a hell of a job. And I mean, you gotta wonder how Gonzaga is gonna be. And I mean, heck, if we lose to Gonzaga, we'll be playing in the 7th place game. Hell, we could be playing Chaminade University. And I don't want to see what happened over 40 years ago happen in the Orange. Hell, remember when Chaminade upset Ralph Sampson in Virginia? That's considered one of the greatest upsets in college basketball history. Heck, I still remember. And I mean, I was just a kid in awe of Ralph Sampson. I hadn't seen a guy who was 7'4". And I mean, at Virginia, he was dominant. But in the pros, yeah. For a couple of years, he teamed with Hakeem Olajuwon to be a great 1-2 duo there for Houston. But his knee kind of didn't hold up. But I mean, let's go away from talking about Chaminade to hoping that Syracuse can have a decent showing there to finish out the Maui Invitational. Well, let's see what happens. Adrian Autry's done a pretty good job, especially with that big comeback win over Colgate. Yeah, we showed what we were made of, and you know what? We went to Colgate and said, rush. That's what we did. But finish up strong there in Maui, guys. And last but not least, yes, some scrimmages are going to be happening for basketball coming up for both the Waterloo boys and the Waterloo girls. You know what? They're not allowing spectators, which sucks. But you know what? It would be a good measuring stick to see what the Waterloo boys and Waterloo girls can do, especially with that giant shadow over the Waterloo girls. Because, hey, with that state title, that's going to be what's going to be hovering over them. But you know what? Let's hope these girls play up to what they can do. And if they can do their best, and I know in Mike Bree, he'll have them playing their best. Same thing with the Waterloo boys, being led by Ole Dylan Caraballo. We'll see what happens. And of course, from me to everybody out there, happy Thanksgiving. See you next week.